she really thinks she's the best at whatever she claims to do in this fake community she created and okie dokes y'all to believe. Until now, God is forcefully vindicating my name, and now you're seeing everything. You were placed under a spell. We all were, so I'm not knocking you. We're learning here. That she is only in competition with herself, and she had her aura so strong that she made y'all believe that she actually was what she said. And actually, that's some powerful shit. All right, that's why I know it's we're all one. And I had to have an arch nemesis like this, Harley Quinn, Joker type. So at times when I get agitated and I just want to appear at her house like immediately, and I know she wouldn't do what she's doing in public, she would try to flirtatiously try to seduce me and all that shit. I would turn her over and BF her to death and John Constantine that spirit out of her. That's just the method we have to use. We don't do the preacher Bibles until the flies like James Woods around the face. We BF demons right out the vessel. Her brother rocks in her, what the fuck? And breaking her backbone. And then she limps and melts just like the villain in What's Up, Roger Rabbit, you know? About have been great Scott. If you know, you know. Christopher Lloyd. So yeah, you don't want the Christopher Lloyd face while you're melting, right? The big eyeballs, like, so Wicked Witch of the East and the West, the shoes all curled up and melting in the green puddle. You don't want to be like Megan. So that is an example that I had to, I signed up for. I just didn't know it'd be this obsessive. So we see through things, and I'm teaching you guys through my perspective that I'm truly unbreakable, like the movie Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. Like my ancestors showed me earlier, I started laughing. I was like, okay, I am truly unbreakable in this bitch. Not the globe, but just the globe. It's my ancestors and Spirit Team Yeshua, Holy Father, Holy Mother, man, y'all, gangsters, Spirit Team, Animal Team, all that. I'm eternally grateful. We see through these sock puppets, so like immediately now that it's comical, man. It really is. Little planet agents and shit. Everybody's nervous and shit, jumbling their words around me and shit. Have no eye contact. Bunch of carpet stares. Or they speak real fast thinking they're gonna get one over on me and shit. I just sit back and like, all right, go ahead, keep on jabber gabbling. It's energy don't match, you know what I'm saying? It's just the energy don't match. That's why these cats are standing in their caves and shit from a distance and hiring little rookies. Like in the wire, they hired the little kids to do the little street the footwork. That's what these witches are doing, hiring little kids to do the book bag work. On crackhead. No disrespect to crackheads, but see, y'all need rehabilitation too, okay? We all been down and done. We don't laugh at people that's going through that. I'm just saying that as a joke. So if you can't take dark sense of humor on my windows to the soul, then I highly recommend you get the front door shut so you will not catch pneumonia. You like how okie doke. I just pivoted you right quick. And make sure you stay nice and warm and bundled up. But if you feel like there's not the shelter for you, you're more than free to take that door and let it hit you where it won't hurt, you know what I'm saying? And where the sun don't shine. Had to bring it back. But either way, old school talk. If you know, you know. That's that grandpa rocking chair talk right there. Yeah, that's that grandpa rocking chair. Ain't she? So sometimes I gotta bring that in to you because I got that teacher vibe. I got that life coach vibe. I just naturally magnetize yourself with my eyes. Stop playing with your bean now and listen up. Put your fingers back in your fucking nostrils and sniff them. I know you got some creaminess down there. Why am I saying this to be so foul? Because my show at first was called No Filter, and it wasn't a show. It's just when I say show, I'm not here for entertainment. It's just I was indoctrinated to say, "Hey, welcome to the Zoe Show." Because that was my first title back in the day when I wasn't so spiritually connected. It rhymes, the Zoe Show, right? So ever since then, I've been keeping that name alive, and then people want to steal my intellectual property and try to create some Truman Show shit, whatever. But now the gig's up. It's done. They're super salty. They're not getting what they expected. But I'm getting some unexpected income. So I guess to both parties, it's unexpected. The baby J's are watching anyway, so we said that, but you'll never know. You'll never know. Unless God lets you know, and then just for another trap, another glue trap that you put your sock on, and then it's just following you everywhere, but you're so oblivious you don't know you stepped on 15,000 glue traps. You didn't notice your height changed? So many people got their eyes on me, they don't even realize their height's changed and shit because they're stepping on so many traps and shit. Or they getting Danny DeVito size because them traps are just chopping you down like some Lieutenant Dan shit. If you know, you know. So I mean, either or, it's funny to me. And they just like, why him? Why not me? Why not me? I look the role, don't I? That's where you fail. You think you have to look a role. It's all about energy and about what that heart do. The scales of justice. We are going to have to face Judgment Day. All right, it's going to be a big scale. You're going to have your heart put on one scale, seashell, and then it's going to be a feather on the other seashell. Then they're going to see if your heart is as light as a feather. But if that one scale where your heart's on it just crashes through the marble tile, even God's strength, I mean God's strength tile don't crack. But if your heart cracks his tile, it's definitely a chest slapper. That means your heart was black as a mother. God damn. Even God's gonna say, God damn. I've never seen that before. Tell me Ric Flair chest slapper. God damn it, I lost a few points scorecard, Judge. I got you. Every time I stutter a little bit, I have fun with myself because I like to be smooth with my rebuttals. I don't like to be cotton mouth and shit. I don't bite your own shit in the middle of a good rebuttal, right? Especially if you're a father and you're teaching your kids how to be sharp on the tongue, especially when they go to school and in life, they're gonna bully you. You gotta teach your kids how to be sharp tongued, right? Make sure you got every rebuttal under the book. So I was a chubby kid back in school, right? So I used to ride the bus and I saw the wandering eyeballs. All right, let's tell the story because he's probably watching. There was this one kid named Tony Molden, I believe. I went to Bates Middle School. I was in seventh or eighth grade. Came back from Turkey, had a leather book bag on, glasses. That's when I became studious. Noticed everybody wanted to copy all my homework and shit because I was just studious. Marie, that's why I give you props. You got me sharp and focused. Do your homework in school so you can go outside and play, right? So I'll give her props on that. But when I was riding the bus, we stopped at a few different stops before the school. And there's this one cat that always like pick on me and just say some slick shit or like bump his shoulder or stick his feet out in the aisle when I'm walking in the back. Because I was one of them Rosa Park cats. I sat in the back. Right? But she refused to sit in the back. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I try to be clever, but fuck that. I used to love riding in the back of the bus. It was just one. I guess it was a subconscious thing. I just didn't want to be seen. That's probably what it was. And all the cool kids were in the back. So we were just they back there just cracking on each other, and that's where I got my sharp rebuttals for jokes. Because there'll be people back there just be cracking on your jeans and shit, your shirt. If he looks all young, that's when I heard about the term "young." Man, you sure look young, young. Why'd your shirt so young? What the fuck? Right? Because I was so novice to it. Then I realized if your shirt's all above your belly button, which I never had a shirt above my belly button, by the way, but like that's the definition of a young shirt. So it's super tight. It just doesn't fit. It don't fit you right. But this generation, people wear skinny jeans and shit, so they love to do their bada bangs. Never mind. I'm not even gonna do that tease. Just watch Scary Movie, the latest one, when he's in church and he does that Silence of the Lamb bada bang. You know what you know. So yeah, back then I learned about young. I learned about cracking and luncheon. So what the fuck does luncheon mean? That just means to like you trip and you have the good time. You know what I'm saying? It can mean different things. It's like fugazi and yada, whatever. You get it. Certain words can mean certain things. Like very proud. I say very proud, like a very proud grandfather or a parent would say to their daughter or son. He got tears in the eyes. He made them happy. Made them very proud. I started saying that back in the day with my boys. And because I saw it in my mind's eye, I saw it on a commercial, and I just laughed my ass off, and then I was like, I'm gonna use that bitch. I'm gonna be, yeah, I'm very proud. So that can mean very proud, and they started regurgitating. By the way, they said it basically. CJ Adams, right? That was one of my. He's like he's an individual that you can ask many people about, and you will get a different version of how they see that cat. Same with me, all right? So that's why I can say that, all right? You can ask people all around the globe, what you know about Lonzo Hayes? They'll have a different version. But now God is making them see that Lonzo's a loving person. He's always been there. He will give the shirt off his back to you. Whatever. So that cat used to always emulate my sayings at his house. We used to go to his garage all the time. And after work, school, go there, smoke, bada bing, bada boom. He would have the shorties over that joint. So that was the spot to go to. And I would test out my sayings a lot at his garage. Then, since he was the head honcho in his garage, if he said it, and everybody looked up to Garfield eyes and those approval. I was like, me and Chuck would have the sayings, and we would bring it to the spot wherever we were. And whoever was the head honcho at that spot, if they stopped and they started saying it, and everybody in the establishment would agree and bought a bit. I was the first cat to start saying, "Hey, I love y'all, male or female." Everywhere I left, I was like, "Man, I love y'all. Take care." And at first, they're a little hesitant, like, "Why are you saying you love a man?" Because I may not be here tomorrow. It's me and CJ. Well, me and CJ and Chuck went somewhere, came back to his garage. We were drinking, of course, and me and Chuck and, and somebody was in the garage, and CJ wanted to go back out, and he was saucy and gossy. I think we came back from an Oriole baseball game. So this was the funniest thing because me and Chuck had a lot of intuitive. This was Batman and Robin back today. I ain't gonna lie. Me and Chuck were Batman and Robin. He taught me a lot about the wolves and the dark side of life. And whatever, he'll speak for himself. But we resonated in a lot of areas. It's like some Gemini man shit. So me and Chuck were in the garage and CJ said, "Hey man, you wanna go down the street, man? I'm just gonna go real quick." And it was summertime or spring, and he had his Honda S200 or something like that, gray car. Me and Chuck looked at each other instinctively and intuitively at the same time. We looked at each other like, "Oh hell no!" I ain't jumping in that way with him, son. So we both gave each other a look. We're like, "Nah, we good." They sat on the table and did what we did, right? Not funny. Hindsight, it is, but at the time, shit. Hear me out. So it was a two-seater. He said, "Zo, you want to go?" And I look at him. Was it a two-seater or four-seater? I can't remember. It's so small of a car. It could have been a four-seater, maybe two. Either or. I would have been in the passenger seat, so you already know where it's going. So he dips off. We give him the look of concern, like, "You sure?" Like my Uncle Mars did, or Uncle Elmer. When I grabbed them beers and this one shorty from the bar was like, "Yo, come down to my house." It's like 3 in the morning shit. Went home. For those that don't know the story, I grabbed some beers and then my uncle looked at me, knowing I shouldn't be going out. Because my dad was out of town and he was looking. My dad, I think, lived in Delaware at the time. And Uncle Elmer was staying at the house for a few days. He's a really cool uncle. Uh, and he looked at me when I was doing my thing because he knows he's not my father. So he gave me Uncle Phil advice as best as he could. He's like, "Hey, you sure you should be doing that?" I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm straight." And I keep on just, I was like a pillowcase, and you just hear the bottles clinking, like clink, clink. So I've driven under the influence, which I never recommend to anybody. I haven't driven in years. But at the time when I was young and dumb, full of cum, I was just clanking the pillowcase up like it was a trick or treat bag. I told you all about the trick or treat story, but that's episodes back. I'll just say it real quick because, like, when we were young, we were trick or treating. This one neighbor in our neighborhood, I don't know why, he trusted people. This was a different time, all right? Different zone. Well, me and my boy Brett Coonrod were trick or treating in my neighborhood in Rolling Hills in Annapolis, Maryland. So this one neighbor just didn't want to deal with the kids, so he left a big Home Depot sized bucket of candy out front. And there was a sign. It was like 7 or 8 p.m. at night, so it was dwindling. It was dwindling down. There was not many kids out there. I'll say that, so I can feel a little bit better. Please take one candy per. Me and Brett were some chubby kids back then, and we looked at each other like me and Chuck did. That's when Glad Spirit TV told me to say that. He's a synchronistic. So me and Brett looked at each other like me and Chuck did. Years later, we said to each other with our eyeballs only, "Fuck yeah." I was the first initiator, so the buck was sitting there. I grabbed a fucking a Yoda handful. If you see the Empire Strikes Back on Luke Skywalker, confirmation basis. Luke Skywalker crashes in the Dagobah, and it's stuck there for a few days. So he's out in the fucking swamp and he's camping with R2D2, and he has a limited amount of food rations. So he crashes out, and then he wakes up with Yoda all hunched over, looking through his personal shit, all disrespectful, like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Found something to eat and started eating it, just chubby lip. So I like to paint pictures. So back to the candy bucket. So I was the first one to Yoda grab some and put it in my pillowcase. And we looked around, of course, got to cover your ass. Make sure nobody's around. And there was nobody around. But this is the funny thing. So then he does the same chubby shit. We just started laughing heavily. Even inside, it looks like no one's home. So we like did the pay attention to your surroundings, your environment. It looked like nobody was home. Hence, they left the bucket in the side there, right? Even the kitchen lights were on. All right, baby J's. So we took it too far, and then I grabbed the bucket. He looked at me and just had the biggest smile, and I just started dumping it in his. He did reverse it. He dumped it in mine. And then we started walking off. We walked off like we just robbed a candy store. I was about to say like we robbed a bank, so our pillowcases were so fucking over. The funny thing was, we weren't considerate about no other kids. We knew that shit would last us for like 2 to 3 months. But the funny thing is how karma works. As soon as we left that guy's asphalt property line, it's nighttime, mind you. It's like 7, 8 p.m., so it's like getting dark. As soon as we start walking on the main street to go back to our houses, a random helicopter appears with the light and starts shining it around our street, like over us. And then we both look up like we're in a movie and shit. In my mind's eye, I saw the guy from the helicopter looking down at us. And we looked up startled. I was like, where the fuck did this helicopter go from? I swear to God, I'm not making it shimmed the light. Our chest froze like we got caught for dumping that bucket, right? It was God letting us know, we see you, right? Don't do that shit again. We thought there was gonna be a long ass like Jacob's ladder just start dwindling down. You see it in the movies and shit, the SWAT teams running. But we would have, I don't know. I was about to say I would have dipped by my. In hindsight, it would, but it shot his light around us for a little bit. Then the light went off, and and it flew off. The funniest, most hard adrenaline violating moment of a chubby kid's life. Some Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer shit for real. Man, me and Brett Coonrod had some adventures. The same with Alex Lyons. All right, I'll tell you just one story. Just fuck it, you know what I mean? We already know this is an episode to lighten up the spirits, right? So, me, Brett Coonrod, Alex Lyons. Then why you snitching, man? This shit's so old, man. We were just doing kid shit. I ain't even snitching. I'm just telling the whole shit. I gotta keep it a buck, right? You can ask me 30 years later, I'll tell you the same story, same detail, with the same tears in the eyes and the same chest lappers. Whatever. Can't catch me slipping. Because I don't do anything to be slipping. That's the thing about liars. You got to remember every lie. That's why these cats getting caught up. And the only thing you got to do is follow the money. That's it, really. That's why all these people are caught up. They got caught up in the cosmic forensic web of laundering and yada yada. You know the story. Shit. All right. Stop. You're Sherlock Holmes for once. What were we talking about? Come on. We're talking about Brett. Oh, Alex. All right. So me and Brett and Alex and myself in our neighborhood still. Um, we used to have like BB gun fights with other kids in the neighborhood, like Trip Metcalf, Paul Ward, rest in power. Monica's sister. Never mind, just keep it honest. Don't need to tell. It's a kid story. Don't need to tell the world what you want to do to his sisters, foul. Terrible. Did we just say that out loud? And he's saying a bitch. Either or. Monica Ward, you already know. I love you. By the base. All right. Either or. We like to play BB guns wars back in the day. We like to have egg fights. And Bobby Lee and Candace Lee, we would have the biggest fucking neighborhood wars, egg fights, and all that shit. Fun fucking times. But we were smart kids. We made sure we wore turtlenecks, long sleeves, multiple layered pants, and like hoodies and shit, so the BBs wouldn't hurt, and you couldn't aim for the face. So I remember this one time. Damn, I was about to go back to the BB gun war. I guess we can. All right, yeah, for Trip Metcalf. All right. So I was older than these kids, right? So I thought I was King Honcho, but I didn't know shit about fucking BB guns really. Trip put me on because him and his dad had what they had a like towards guns. When I stayed over at his house a few nights, cool peoples. His dad was awesome, taught us about girls, all types of shit. The first time I ate deer sausage, really fucking good. Dad was an OG. I hope he's still around. Trip Metcalf's dad's OG. That's another individual you can ask about. You will get different reactions about that character, but I still love him in the heart. So Trip Metcalf was good, good. Bobby Lee, all the cast. Saw Buster Pratt's video, was good. Rest in peace to your brothers, all that shit. I love. So they had a safe down in the basement because me and him would be watching all types of gangster movies like and Tales of the Crypt. Those just when we were growing up. That's when we started getting more familiar with Tales of the Crypt and just HBO and just the movies that would pop on at night where kids like, what the fuck? We're not away from our parents. But his dad was cool. He didn't mind. We didn't have to sneak around. That shit. That's when I was in that stage. And then they opened up the safe one day, had all these shotguns and shit. I was like, ass. And then we would go in the backyard. I feel bad. I used to shoot birds with the BB guns. We would kill some birds. I felt bad about that. Like even then, he would show me how much of a marksman he is, and he would shoot some birds. I felt really bad. Yeah. Okay. Damn, I forgot we did that. But see, when you open up, your brain opens up. So damn, we would do that, and then not all every day. I swear to God, he like shot two pigeons, something like that. It's like two of them. So we weren't out here just killing birds. I'm not gonna say that. He was just showing me how skillful he is. So then one of us came up with the idea was have a BB gun war. And so that's when we're like, if we are, we're going to use these BB guns it's like different power pumps. So all right, boom, boom, boom. So in my mind's eye, I used to play a lot of video games. Like I'm going to be a beast. But since he showed me how marksman skilled he is, I was a little, a little fearful. Not fearful, but like a little, I guess, intimidated. I don't even know if I used that word. I just knew that he would beat me at a game. I don't even think I knew what intimidated meant. So we had our first BB gun war. It was like me, Candace, I think Paul Ward, because that was his boy across the street. They rode dirt bikes together. Me, Candace, Bobby Lee, Bobby, and his brother. Yeah, there was Bobby. Confirmation, bitches. Bobby, older one, and his younger brother Andrew, I think, and he had a sister that ran track at school, and I always wanted to hit on her joint. I was hitting on that joint nonstop until one day I went over to their house for Christmas. It was like Christmas Eve, and then she had a man over there. What the fuck? I'm your man, right? And then they started tongue kissing the shit downstairs once I started seeing about. I was a young kid learning a lot. It's like, oh shit, all right. But I was like heartbroken because I wanted to get with that joint. I like older women. So I was heartbroken, but at the same time, it was like it was what it was. So that helped me remember that family because they lived in Whitman Court and then they moved. Another cool family. Never mind. Don't worry about that. Very adventurous kids. So it was us versus Trip and Brett Coonrod. And I think Paul Ward was on their side. And I think Bobby Lee and his brother. What's his brother's name? Bobby Lee and Jimmy. I can't. I can't believe I forgot. David Lee. David and Bobby. Pimps, I tell you, man, they got chicks. You know what I'm saying? Those little kids got some chicks. They're the first house in our neighborhood just to have parties every Friday. And we were like seventh, eighth grade. Candace Lee was the most popular shorty in our school. Some movie shit. She came there and because Jay Yancey lived across the street. Me and Jay were homeboys, and we would go to each other's houses and just play video games all night. He would tell me about women and shit too. And me, Jay Yancey, Ryan Wheeler, Jimmy, Jimmy and Jay Yancey, they're brothers. So we would be chilling, and the Candace moved over across the street from Jimmy's and Jay's house, and so we were like we were like, what the hell's going on? Curious, that's what it was. We were very curious what was going on across the street. Because it was just a cool ass family that was just wilding. The father was drinking beers, and the kids were all just partying. It was just white folks, but white folks do not all. Yeah, basically, it was some white folks getting busy. So one day I think we all got curious and they invited us over to the party. So we kept on looking at them like, what the we were proud of them, right? Very proud. They invited us in that joint. They were drinking beer pong and smoking weed out of beer cans. They would puncture it, bend it, and poke holes and shit. I didn't smoke back then. I was really a CM punk. I did not smoke, so I was that kid. All right, with the sodas and everybody was walking around, partying, listening to music, and making out with chicks. And I still haven't got comfortable with making out with women. So I was that guy. They're playing video games downstairs. I'll play video games and attempt to talk to girls, but I was like a wallflower. I was very shy back then. So literally, Candace Lee and her friend Blair German and shit were like the chicks in high school that just fucking got all the older kids in the high school. The high school still. I mean, how are these seventh graders booking high school? It was wild. Our school was wild at the time. Like those times were truly Zach Morris development and how to get women and what not to do, not to get them. So it was a good experience. So they taught us how to party and what to do, right? So let's bring it back to the present. So yeah, we're in the woods. I know I jump around. We're in the woods, and it's like playing night tags. Like you give each other a countdown, and then you separate. All right, you turn your backs, and everyone runs in their own distances, and then one of us says, "All right, you go." Or no, we don't do that because that'll give away where they're at, of course, right? I think we did that at first just to get used to it, but after that, it was a countdown, and then we turned around after 20 or whatever the countdown was. So in my mind, I was like, man, I won't get these kids easy because these kids are not like ninjas, right? Not at all. So I get like a few of these cats. We all are. We're all doing our thing. Let's just say that because it's kind of vague memories. But this is what really stands out. I could not find Trip to save my life. Because he's a hunter. He had the camouflage jackets and all that shit. Like him and his dad were really deer hunted and all that shit. Hence, they were the first family that gave me deer sausage. Really good, man. Gamey food, really good. So I couldn't find Trip to save my life, and I thought he was one of the first cats I was gonna find. I don't know why, because that's when I was, conceited. I guess I thought I was better at everything, right? So I'm sitting around, and then something in my mind's eye, like, just shows me an owl or like a or a crow. You know what I'm saying? Like just highly perched up. Bird's eye view, and I see myself like walking in circles, looking lost and shit, and because we're in the woods, mind you. It's like fall time, so the leaves are on the ground. It's crunchy shit. I was thinking about the movie The Bodyguard, you know what I'm saying, at the very end, but that's in snow and shit, but whatever. That's one of my favorite scenes. So I'm out there. That's what I was imagining. Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger was one of my favorite fucking movies, all right? Hands down. Survival, camouflage in the woods, so I always wanted to reenact that, but not really reenact it. Because when I was at jobs, I'd always picture that I was Arnold Schwarzenegger in that scene and cover myself up with the mud and beating the brakes off yeah, it was dope. So that was like one of my go-tos as my imagination, which led me to be like, I'm gonna be on the big screen one day. I'm gonna watch this. So I just saw that in my mind's eye that I'm being looked at like prey, and then Trip shoots a warning shot right next to my left leg. And then I start like talking big shit like Jesse Ventura, like, what the fuck you at? You ain't gonna do shit. And then another joint just hits my chest like, and I fall down. I just over exaggerate, right? I just have fun with it. I just take the shots like Denzel Washington and Training Day. I'm like, fuck yeah. And everybody behind me, like, they just saw me drop like William Defoe. I think he was in the movie Apocalypse Now or something. Yada yada. If you know, you know. So when I dropped, then I see, like, in my mind's eye, I thought it was the Predator for real. It was Trip Metcalf perched on this fucking tree, wrapped in all camo. Yeah. That was one of another hands down moment. That shit was fun as shit. I'll tell you the last story, and I'll end it with that, because I want to end it with a high note. Me, Chuck, Sean Bernard, Craig Bernard, Marcus Hayes, and somebody in their neighborhood, I forgot his name. I think his name was Alan. I don't think Rico was with us. He could have been. It's another fucking like Hardy Boys adventure, right? It's like the story I told you all in Turkey and shit, that street brawl and shit. So we chilling. We chilling in the neighborhood, just doing what kids do, like teenagers shit. Like when Dunkin' Donuts was up, open 24/7. There's a pool hall open in Severna Park called Bill and Billy's. We went there, and it was open all night, I believe. Those are the days. So we went up there to play pool and mac the women and older women like those days, smoking cigarettes, drinking beers, and going up there and playing some fucking pool. So we came back from doing that excursion back to Sean, Chuck's, and Craig's neighborhood. I think we were just out just being some Dennis the Menaces. There was a neighbor that they didn't like specifically, and I think there's a crabapple tree in the street where they lived at. So Chuck's Dennis the Menace ass and grabs a few crab apples, throws them just randomly in the air and shit. Sometimes he would do shit like that. He just throw randomly in the air, and then we hear this window. Not funny now, but back then, funny for little kids. Then we didn't hear anything. We were hungry. We wanted to go to Dunkin' Donuts, right? So we go to Dunkin' Donuts, come back, and then as soon as we're coming back in the neighborhood, we just see a whole bunch of Christmas lights. And it wasn't Christmas time. Whole bunch of cops in the entrance, right? So they stop us. It's like a barricade. We couldn't get anywhere. And this big black officer comes up to the window with these like black gloves, but his fingers are exposed. Those type of joints. Like I'm ready to whoop ass, right? Like, do you guys? Where are you guys coming from? I forgot who spoke first. I think Chuck was, because Chuck was the he was the smooth talker, right? Same with me, but that's another time, different story. So he spoke up. Oh man, officer, we just came back from Bill and Billy's. We were hungry. We wanted to get some Dunkin' Donuts. That's where we're at. Sean's driving, mind you, in the mumbler. He had a vehicle called the Nissan. That joint looked like a transformer. That joint had many members. It's called the mumbler. It's like a Z4, I think it was, something like that. Correct me in the comments if you know. So Sean starts stuttering, nervous. Like, yeah, we went to Dunkin' Donuts. Hey, you want a donut? He didn't have to say shit like Chuck Boom Boom, and the first person speaks loses it. It was that awkward silence where the officer was just thinking about, yeah, oh, this story sounds legit. Sean said that. Also, nah, we good. And then we basically did the forehead swipe without doing the forehead swipe in our mind. Like, shoot. And in our minds, we're like, can we go now? It was more awkward silence. Then he does the hand on his shoulder. And we're all in the car anticipating, like, all right, everybody, step back, kid. So you were anticipating that shit. You know, the hand on the hood you hear. If you ever hear the hand on the top of the hood, be prepared to get your ass out there, kid. So we're just waiting for the good old hollow sounding hands to slap on top of the Nissan, and everybody gives us the final look like, oh shit, our parents gonna kill us. Awkward silence. He did the shoulder squeeze, or shoulder scrunch. I know I lost some points. I got you. Still get an 8.5. So, talk to my scorecard judges. If you guys think I'm crazy, I got a spirit team. We entertain each other. Crazy. So the officer looks back in. He leans down all slow and dramatic, looks in the window, give us all a final look. He had to give us the last giraffe neck just to intimidate us. Let's see if we're going to flinch. It's a game of who's going to flinch. When we think we're smooth, because he's a body language king too. That's why he got the job. He gave us the last flinch. And none of us bucked. We were all statues. Just looking straight ahead at home. We're just focused, get down like like two other police cars in front of him and shit. So like, let's get out of this barricade, all right? We go through this shit. He looked at us, gave us the last head and neck. All right, they good. Let them go. Our balls is all the way up to our nostrils. If he kept us there any longer, they would have shined the flashlight and wondered if we were human or not. Because our nostrils were just had the testicles just down to our lips. All right, that's how scared we were. All right, he let us go, and then we just had to go a little distance. All right, we took the back route. He lives in one of them like woody areas. And of course, as soon as we got safe enough, we all had to look at the same direction as Sean. So what the fuck were you thinking about asking if you want a donut? Man, he's a cop. You want to? So we started laughing at that shit, right? So from us dropping off, or we thought we were going to drop off one of our friends. I think we did. Then we start working our way back to the house. And then the cops are like still on the street searching. So we couldn't get back home the way we did. I think the neighbor house that they hated, that's the window that broke. And he was pissed. So he had like, to us, we're kids, confirmation bitches. So to us, it felt like a SWAT team. So like the cops are looking all around the neighborhood. So from like 12 o'clock We are on foot. So I think that's what it was. We parked the car near Alan's house, and then the cops were boom, boom, boom. We were nervous. We were drinking, smoking shit. So we had to work our way on foot. That's what it was. We had to work our way on foot back to Charlie's house, Sean's house, and Craig's house. And then in the morning, we were going to retrieve the car. That's just how it was. Because we were that paranoid. So tell you why. Tell y'all why. Whatever. I said that right. We were out there from 12 something a.m. till 6 in the morning. We were hiding in neighbors' boats and shit while the cops were searching for us and shit. You heard them when they walked up. Here's some kids. Those kids were actually guilty. That's what it was. It just all come back to me. So I believe there was something like that. And we had to hide behind fences. Different. It was just fucking like Red Dawn. And me and Chuck. So I think everyone split up. That's what it was like. We just had to split up. So it was like in a platoon at first, and then somehow me and Chuck ended up to be Batman and Robin, and we hid in the most spots we would never thought we would, and we made it back to Chuck's house at like 6 in the morning. And so when we did the forehead, like, shoot, we made it back, right? Craig had to deliver papers the next morning. So I used to deliver papers too. So sometimes I'd be at the bar drinking all night, doing whatever, and come back home and still delivering papers like a true soldier. So he had to deliver papers on his bike. So as soon as we were about to crash, he goes out, and then like I think, yeah, I think his boy Alan drives to work, and then down the road he sees Craig handcuffed on his bike and saying, "I didn't do anything." As Alan drives off to work, he calls us and tells us what happened. We start dying. I didn't do anything. But Craig had it down like a G. He didn't rap. But that was just another Zoe's adventure for y'all. You can believe it or not. Have fun, enjoy your evening, and just stay as positive as you can because this Walmart necromancer magic is not working. The war water just turned into piss water, and we, we threw it out the window.